No one in Washington expected this to be said out loud. Not in that room, not on camera, and certainly not this directly. But that's exactly what happened. Eric Swalwell didn't soften his words. He didn't hide behind procedure. He didn't use the careful, polished language designed to protect reputations and careers. He didn't play the Washington game. He locked eyes with Kash Patel and said the one name everyone in that room had been deliberately avoiding for years, Donald Trump. And then he demanded answers about Epstein. Watch this entire video closely because the moment you see Patel's reaction, everything about this exchange snaps into focus. And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications. This story isn't slowing down, and you'll want to see what happens next as each new detail comes to light. Now, let me take you inside the room. This was supposed to be a closed door or Senate Intelligence Committee session. Routine, technical, quiet by design, the kind of hearing that rarely makes headlines. But at the last minute, at Swalwell's request, it was converted into an open hearing, cameras allowed, press. Swalwell said the public had a right to see what was about to unfold. That decision alone should have raised eyebrows across Washington. Kash Patel entered the room the way he always does, confident. 3 attorneys at his side, aides following closely behind, shoulders back, chin up. The posture of someone who believes he's already weathered worse storms. And to be fair, he has. He's testified countless times before Congress. He knows how to deflect. He knows how to stall. He knows how to survive hearings like this without giving ground. What he didn't anticipate was the direction this one was about to take. The first 40 minutes followed the script everyone expected. Intelligence budgets, counterterrorism briefings, surveillance protocols. Patel delivered polished, carefully worded non-answers. He checked his watch. He appeared almost bored. Then Eric Swalwell picked up the microphone. "Director Patel," he said calmly, "I want to talk about the Epstein files." Patel's expression didn't change. He'd heard versions of this question before. He had prepared responses ready. "Of course, Senator, as I've stated in previous testimony, I'm not interested in your previous testimony." Swalwell cut in. He opened a thick red folder, tabbed with colored markers. "I'm interested in what you haven't told us." The room shifted. You could feel it. That unmistakable moment when everyone realizes something unscripted is about to happen. Specifically, Swalwell continued, "I want to know why every document in the Epstein files that references Donald Trump was reclassified after you became FBI director." The room didn't just go quiet, it froze. Not ordinary silence, the kind where dozens of people instinctively stopped breathing at the same time. Patel's face flickered a flash of surprise, then irritation, then the reset, that familiar controlled expression officials wear when they know the cameras are locked on them. "Senator," he replied, "I have no knowledge of any reclassification targeting documents related to any specific individual. That does darn it, and well no knowledge." Swalwell didn't hesitate. He lifted a document into view. "This is an internal FBI memorandum dated March 15th of this year, 3 months after you assumed your position. It instructs the Classification Review Board to fast-track a review of all Epstein-related materials referencing current government officials or individuals connected to them." He held it high enough for the cameras to capture it clearly. "It carries your deputy director's signature. Are you seriously telling this committee you knew nothing about it?" Patel's eyes flicked briefly toward his attorneys. "Nothing. No notes, no guidance, no rescue." "Senator, classification reviews occur regularly. There is nothing regular about this." Swalwell snapped, his voice sharpening but still controlled. "Since you took office, 23 documents that were already approved for public release have been pulled back and reclassified. 23. And every single one mentions Donald Trump." He leaned forward. "That's not coincidence. That's a pattern. This is where the hearing crossed the line." Patel tried to pivot, tried to frame it as politics. "I find it disappointing that members of this committee continue to pursue politically motivated. Swalwell interrupted, letting out a short, bitter laugh. "Director Patel, I'm not the one who reclassified documents to protect a former president. You are. I'm not the one who took an oath to uphold the law and then buried evidence. You did." The tension in the room hardened. "Do you even understand what's inside those documents?" Swalwell continued. "Do you understand what the public would learn if they were actually released?" Patel's jaw tightened. "I'm not going to speculate on classified material. Then I'll spell it out for you." Swalwell reached for another document. This is an unclassified summary of witness testimony from 2019. A woman employed at Epstein's Palm Beach residence. She provided 14 names, 14 men she personally saw with underage girls at that property. He didn't look away from Patel. One of those names was Donald Trump. The reaction was immediate. Audible gasps from the gallery, reporters scrambling for their phones, senators exchanging looks that blended disbelief with something else. Relief, perhaps, that someone had finally said it out loud. Patel attempted to interject. That testimony was fully reviewed. And then what? Swalwell shot back. Stamped classified, locked away, removed from public view. He stood up. That alone sent a ripple through the room. The FBI has had that testimony for 6 years. 6 years. And instead of investigating it, instead of following the leads, instead of doing the work the public expects, you reclassified it. He pointed directly at Patel. You didn't protect national security, you protected Donald Trump, and everyone in this room knows it. This was the moment that spread everywhere. Swalwell held up a large color photograph. Do you recognize this photo, Director Patel? It showed Trump and Epstein-Marago 10997, smiling, comfortable, familiar. This image has been public for years, Swalwell said. What the public hasn't seen are the 37 additional photographs taken that same night, images currently logged as evidence inside FBI storage that we really saws. This is really sign. We type means really to just our face. He placed the photo flat on the desk. So tell me, Director, what's in those pictures? What are you hiding? Patel was visibly sweating now. Releasing evidence photographs involves privacy concerns and investigative. There is no investigation. Swalwell slammed his hand on the desk. Epstein is dead. Maxwell is serving time. The only reason those photos remain classified is because someone powerful doesn't want them seen. He locked eyes with Patel, and we both know exactly who that is. Now pause here for a moment. If you've made it this far, like the video. That signals this conversation matters. Leave your thoughts in the comments. This discussion needs more eyes on it. Then came the silence. 20 full seconds. An eternity in a congressional hearing. Patel sat motionless. His attorney said nothing. His prepared talking points were gone. Finally, he spoke. I completely reject the suggestion that the FBI acted to shield any individual. Swalwell slowly shook his head. Here's what I see, he said. An FBI director appointed by Donald Trump. An FBI director whose career is tied to Donald Trump, and an FBI director who for 11 months concealed material linking Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. That isn't law enforcement, he concluded. That's obstruction. The hearing technically continued after that. Other senators asked questions. Cybersecurity, foreign interference, procedural noise. None of it mattered because the only thing echoing in that room was what had just been placed on the record on camera without ambiguity. Trump's name, the Epstein files, and evidence allegedly kept buried. Within minutes, the footage spread everywhere. Social media, cable news, legal analysts debating whether Patel's testimony crossed into obstruction of justice, and inside FBI headquarters, staffers were almost certainly scrambling. Here's why this matters. For years, the Epstein files lived in speculation, rumors, theories, unanswered questions. What happened in that room was different. Documents, memos, testimony, and one name appearing again and again, Donald Trump. Let me be clear. I'm not declaring guilt. That's not my role. My role is to report what happened. And what happened was this. A United States senator publicly accused the FBI of shielding a former president and did so on the record with documentation. That should concern everyone. What comes next? Subpoenas, Inspector General reviews, closed-door briefings, pressure that doesn't fade easily. Will Washington try to bury it? Possibly. Washington is very good at that. But this story isn't disappearing because that question, what are you hiding, now lives on the congressional record, and it demands answers. If you want to stay ahead of where this goes next, subscribe and turn on notifications. I'm staying on this. When something breaks, you'll see it here first. Stay with this.